My name is John Greenleaf Whittier, and I was born in 1807. I grew up in a poor Quaker family, and due to this sad problem, I had no formal schooling. I started writing poetry at the age of 14, and with the help of my good friend William Lloyd Garrison, I got a job at the Massachusetts newspaper as an editor. From the time I was 21 until I was 25, I contributed stories, sketches, and poems to various newspapers. At the age of 25, I wanted a pamphlet that I wrote to become published. It was called Justice and Expediency. I was to have an immediate end to slavery, and I finally paid for it to be published. Because of the content of this pamphlet, I came in contact with some mobs who threw stones at me, and some of the newspapers didn't want to publish it. But it's like I always say, you don't have to win your battles, but it's good to know that you fought. When I was 25, I elected into the Massachusetts State Legislature. I hated slavery very much. I tried very hard to abolish it. Aside from trying to convince people to see the wrongs of slavery, I wrote poems and articles for the National Era, who also published Uncle Tom's Cabin. Finally, I retired to Amesbury, Massachusetts, where I wrote the poem Snowbound, which you will hear shortly. Well, what do you know? The great big book of poetry. Did you know that my poem is 759 lines long and made of couplets, which is a 2-line rhyme scheme? I think I will read my poem for you today. The sun that brief December day rose cheerless over hills of gray, and darkly circled gave at noon a sadder light than waning moon, slow tracing down the thickening sky its mute and ominous prophesy, a portent seeming less than threat. It sank from sight before it set, a chill, no coat, however stout, of homespun stuff, quite shut out, a hard, dull bitterness of cold that checked mid-vein the circling race of lifeblood in the sharpened face. The coming of the snowstorm told. The wind blew east, we heard the roar of ocean on its wintry shore, and felt the strong pulse throbbing there beat with low rhythm our inland air.
Hi, my name is Jacob. Like every night, my brother and I have to go out and do our chores. They just get so annoying doing them every night, just like my brother Simon. Hey! Come on, anyways, we need to go grab some wood for the fire and fix the animals' beds. Come on, I don't want to. You know we have to, or Dad will get mad. Come on!
Unwarmed by any sunset light, the gray day darkened into night. A night came hoary with the swarm, a whirl dance of the blinding storm, a zigzag wavering to and fro, crossed and recrossed the winged snow, and ere the early bedtime came, the white drift piled the window frame, and through the glass the clothesline posts look in like tall unsheeted ghosts.
When is this storm going to get over? I don't want to do chores in this kind of weather. Oh, Dad was as stiff as a bristle post, and he always wore a loose and flung coat and a high cocked hat.
Boys!
Most of the time I had never listened to Paul, but when he was yelling at you, you really need to get your butts moving. And that's what Simon and I did. You never say no to Paul. So we grabbed our shovels and started to build a tunnel through the snow. Hey Jacob, you know making this tunnel to the barn it very so reminds me of that story Aladdin. You remember? I think that we should name this cave in honor of Aladdin. Yeah, that's a great idea. And may we find great treasure at the end of the tunnel.
We reached the barn with merry din, and roused the prison broods within. The old horse thrust his long head out, and grave with wonder gazed about. The cock his lusty greeting said, and forth his speckled harem led. The oxen lashed their tails and hooked, and mild reproach of hunger looked. The horned patriarch of the sheep, like Egypt's Amun roused from sleep, shook his sage head with gesture mute, and emphasized with the stamp of his...
I hope the kids are doing okay. It doesn't seem that this storm is ever going to stop. It's been happening all day. I am surprised that the church bells haven't rung all day yet. It just seems to be a ghost town. I haven't seen or heard from anyone in a long time. Jacob? Simon? Is that you?
Mom, we're back with the firewood.
Okay, come in before you catch cold. Just place the wood by the fireplace.
Watched the first red blaze appear, heard the sharp crackle, caught the gleam, on whitewashed wall and sagging beam, until the old rude-fashioned room burst, flower-like, into rosy bloom, while radiant with a mimic flame, outside the sparkling drift became, and through the bare-boughed lilac tree.
Mom, this fire reminds me of that rhyme you used to tell me when we were young all the time. Remember? Under the tree, when fire's outdoor, burns merrily, though their witches are making tea.
Yes, Jacob, I do remember telling that to you. I think it's time for you to go to bed. Mommy! Simon's picking his boogers again!
The great throat of the chimney laughed. The house dog on his paws outspread laid to the fire his drowsy head. The cat struck silhouette on the wall. A coutron's tigers seemed to fall, and for the winter fireside meat, between the androdon's straggling feet, the mug of cider simmered slow. The apples sputtered in a row, and close at hand the basket stood, with nuts from brown October's wood.
Thanks for watching Poets Corner. We'd like to thank John Greenleaf Whittier for coming. Once again, thanks and good night.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Red Rum Productions.